So meanwhile, everybody around the globe pretty much and on social media is roasting Allison Holker's ass after she done made people, after she done put out this book telling all of Twitch's business after his untimely unaliving of himself. Let's just say it that way. But listen, before I get into the meat and potatoes of that shit, I need y'all to go ahead real quick and hit that subscribe bell so that when I upload these videos or go live, you can be one of the first ones to comment in the comments section and let me know what you thought about the video, the topic, and my opinion. Please give me yours. Um, Also, hit that thumbs up button. That helps out a lot. That helps the algorithm plenty. And make sure to not forget to share these videos. Share these damn videos with your cousin, your friend, your nephew, your auntie, Rosemary, Aunt Boyson, all them people. Share these videos with somebody. Give the gift of giving, something that's absolutely free. Share the video. Now, if your grandma Koja or Pentecostal, I suggest you not. Now, if she's Baptist or something like that, she might get along with it. But other than that, don't do it. Anyway, moving right along with the show. As y'all may notice, I may be battling a little something going on here. I think something is trying to uh, invade my spiritual health space, and I don't appreciate it. But as soon as I get off here, I've made an elixir, and I'm gonna go eat and drink that shit and snuggle up on the sofa or in the bed somewhere and catch up on some shows and see what's going on. Anyway, meanwhile, let's get back to tonight's topic. Allison Holker. Now, this book that she made, um, that she published and put out there, is again basically now at this point now airing all of Twitch's dirty laundry since since he's been gone. Um, and if there wasn't already a lot of questions already going on in the minds of the people as we watch this play out, that meaning his unaliving, his death, and the fact that this bitch got the nerve to go out here and publish a book and get paid off of this man's pain. Now, y'all was sitting around there giving Patty LaBelle the goddamn business because she done told everybody Luther Vandross was a fucking fruit, not a vegetable. And I don't. The two don't align. The way y'all roasted Patty LaBelle's ass, and some of y'all still roasted her ass in the comment section as we went back and forth and carrying on and whatnot and so forth. But tell me, does this not warrant an ass roasting from the social platforms? You know what I mean? The reason I say this is because, for one, you made this memoir, or you wrote this book and published it, stating how the man, you found drugs in the closet, just days before his funeral, when you and some friends were cleaning out the closet trying to find a nasty old outfit to put on Twitch, for his final hour, his last debut before the people. You found all these drugs. You found out that the man had childhood trauma and abuse, and that he suffered with depression. And the part, I think, where I truly understand and agree with the people is the fact that you, as this man's partner, you laid next to this man in the bed at night. You made sweet love to this man at some point several times, over and over and over. Listen, 732, like Bernadine, shit. The number of times we made love, you had the nerve to go out there and wait till this man close his eyes for the final time and take your ass and exploit all of his business. I mean, why? Because when the people was talking about it, I was like, I know you lying. But clearly, bitch, you got on people, apparently you must have needed the checks. I'm gonna just say maybe she needed the money, right? Maybe, let's just say Allison, got out there and the bitch got in Wonderland and she was just spinning it up, still trying to maintain the same lifestyle that they were living when he was alive, And I don't know it for sure for fact that he was the sole breadwinner in the home, but I'm gonna go ahead and bank. I'm gonna pretty much put my neck on the guillotine and say he was pretty much more of the bulk of the income for the household, right? And excuse me. And let's just be honest. Some of these women get in certain places and certain spots and get used to a certain level of lifestyle and luxurious shit and jewelry and diamonds and pearls and shit. You know what I'm saying? Fancy trips, nice cars, getting their nether regions, they charcuterie board waxed on the regular, they nails and they foots and shit done. Them eyebrows don't just happen overnight. She probably have a unibrow when she wake up in the morning if she ain't tweezed them some bitches or lay around and get them waxed after a certain period of time. You just never know what a girl is going through. But once you get accustomed to a lifestyle of being able to just call down into the place and make an appointment or just walk in and everybody know, who you are and your name and shit. And you just go in and get whatever services, there are that you're seeking at that particular facility, or establishment. But the point I'm trying to make is why? Listen, 11 years I sacrificed. I don't know how long they had been married, 2013, 2014, somewhere around about 10 years, maybe. Didn't even make 10 years. I mean, did the funds dry up? I mean, why don't you just have some decency and be like any other bitch that done lost their husband and ain't able to live the lifestyle that they used to and just get your OnlyFans page, even if you don't do something but show some feet. Because first of all, I mean, you have to be an evil bitch to sit up there. You had this man's funeral, and reports have it that you asked the family, and I'm sure probably even friends, close friends of his, maybe not even yours, to sign a fucking NDA to come to the funeral. I mean, why would you have people, his family, to sign an NDA? I mean, typically we know that an NDA, basically you come to the thing and whatever the hell you see and whatever the hell you hear and maybe even experience, like even down there at the P. Diddy house, that cooked. We're gonna talk about that shit tomorrow. But it makes no sense to me, other than the fact that possibly you made sure that everyone else signed NDAs so they can keep their cocksuckers shut and not go out telling what they saw or heard at the funeral. Because I'm pretty sure they had no hands in any of the planning or any of the situations for the ceremony. And it just says to me, part of it says that maybe you did this because you were sitting around planning the whole entire time to write this book and to make sure that you would be the bitch, to make sure that everybody heard it there first from your mouth about his inner demons and the things that he was trying to, keep confidential. If this man struggled all that time, just like y'all said about Luther, if he struggled all that time to keep all that shit a secret and private, what is it for you to sit up there and wait till he closed his eyes and for you to go out there and just wait? You was just in the room cooking up the shit in the lab. That just to me gives somewhat of maybe the marriage was a business arrangement. Maybe it wasn't even real, like Mary J. Blige said, it wasn't even real love. I don't know. Because that's kind of what it's given. There's so many scenarios that we can actually pull from this. But one thing for sure, we can all come to the conclusion of and deduce the fact that this was some dirty low down shit. And it just, now you're adding, it was already the fact that people that were fans of his had to mourn the loss of him, and the world as a whole that actually cared about his talent, that actually gave a damn about where he was going. He was getting a good stride in his career. He seemed happy most of the time. But for the people that had to watch him be, put away for it to in his final resting place, that was hurtful enough as it is, and that should have been hurtful enough to you as a spouse to just keep some shit to yourself. Just be a real lady and have some decorum. I mean, again, if the money situation was that bad, I mean, because your kids are going to see this shit someday, somehow, one day, because women say, well, if I did an OnlyFans page, my kids are going to see it one day, and that just, degrades me. I mean, bitch, you're degrading yourself now, and you're degrading their father, his legacy that he left behind. It was bad enough knowing or finding out allegedly that he unalived himself. That was hurtful enough for the people. And it definitely should have been hurtful enough for you. And the family is speaking out, and they are mad. They are angry. In my mind, my opinion is, the way I see it, they probably looking to put their meat beaters on her, baby. They looking to put their cat scratches on. They looking to meow, mix the shit out of her. In my mind, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to understand, even as a parent, a sibling, an uncle, whatever have you, somebody that you held near and dear to your heart, and you watch them grow, and to think that they've been handed off to someone that cares as much as you do for them, and allegedly even more, to the tune of they want to spend the rest of their life with them, and bear children, and just be happy and successful, and you see the light in your child's eyes, I guess, at that moment, and you're supportive. Now, the childhood abuse, I'm not gonna read the bitch book. Something got a hold of me. But it's trying. And when I tell you I done cook that elixir in this bitch, and when I get through doing what I'm doing, the last thing I do before I lay down and go to bed at night, I'm gonna warm it up. My grandmother gave me a very good recipe when I grew up, and I done tweaked that bitch and made it so successful. So chances are, I'm sure, by the time I drink some of this Jolly Juice tonight, tomorrow I should be feeling fine. Because being out there at the funeral and everything back home, standing out there in that cold ass weather, it was fucking freezing. I mean, oh dear God in heaven. My hands were cold, my ears were cold, everything was cold. And I think it's trying to catch up with me, but I'm gonna go and nip that shit in the bud tonight. But getting back to the topic, y'all have to let me know what y'all think about this one. I have seen somewhere in certain comments on Instagram, when the story was talked about, that Black women aren't happy with her. I can see that. Her as a Caucasian woman, I'm gonna say Caucasian. I don't know what she really is, or what she made of, or what she got mixed around up in that cake batter of a person she is. I don't know. But I'm gonna say, for a Caucasian woman, it looks pretty. It really gives a bad taste in African American women mouths, and even men, honestly, any decent human being, at the fact that, to the mindset of other people on the outside looking in, that you had you a good one, and you took that good one from, because y'all know everybody say, hey, girl taking on white girl, taking up all the black men and all that stuff. That then it started being us gays taking up all the black good bad men and shit. And honey, he just wasn't yours. That boy was mine. It's just that simple. So, but anyway, but to the fact of, that was pretty much the rumor and the gossip during that time. And Black women are really angry at this shit. We as a nation are really angry at this. I really haven't seen a blog or a post or just anything on social media, TikTok, anything that speaks highly or even positive about the comings out of this book, and this woman telling all this man's goddamn business. And like I said before, had it been Patty, listen, y'all already exiled a woman in Shonda and shit, and then put her on a deserted island by herself, knowing she a senior citizen, and y'all wasn't even paying attention to the fact that Andy had that woman full of that damn oil. Patty was down there probably knowing she diabetical and knowing she ought not be drinking that kind of stuff, but she was down there doing it for the vine. Ooh, that was old. Baby, this shit is trying to listen. But I just found it downright despicable. It was enough that he was going through the situation, allegedly with Ellen DeGenerate, um, after all the rumors came out about her and the shit that she was doing behind the scenes with the people over there and all the other stuff that she had going on, and the cancellation of the show. And even then it was said to be rumored that at some point he was threatening to or seeking to come out with hidden information, to divulge that information to the public and let us know just how devious and nefarious allegedly that Ellen DeGenerate and I guess some other people were behaving in the time of his dealings with him. We were all stunned at the fact that this was said that it was that he passed away from unaliving himself. Okay, I got you. And we were all just mystified, and everybody, even close family and friends, was still kind of like, well, what the fuck? We didn't know, we never would have thought. So I mean, it puts you in the mindset of that the situations with MJ, Whitney, Prince, and so many other greats that have gone under mysterious circumstances, and all of a sudden, they come up with this bogus story that they weren't doing so well, and they were pretty much stirred back, bobbling dingo ass crazy someone behind the scenes, and nobody else saw but the people close to them. But they acted just perfectly fine when it was time to get out there and perform amongst the people and for the people and bring in them checks. And all of those people I named and then some, along with Twich, along with Twich, have been said to have been doing things that were going to be pivoting towards a direction and course correction as far as their career and their daily walk of life. They could no longer stand the circumstances in which they've been confined to and bound to per contracts allegedly. And it was said that these people were either getting ready to write tell-all books or, or just ready to go to the press with some shit. It's all of those deaths were basically surrounding some type of mysterious circumstance. Very questionable. You know what I mean? So it's bad enough that those thoughts are still lingering on the people whenever we hear his name or see a picture of him or any old videos on TikToks with him dancing with the snow bunny that he fooled around in. And I'm like, baby, listen, I wish I never met her at all. I wish he never even met her. And I know there's some that would argue and say the fact that, oh, she's freeing him. She's telling her story, her side of what she saw, and it's her life that she's speaking about, not so much his. Bull, like Judge Judy say, baloney, bullshit. Fuck, this is getting to me. I got to hurry and wrap this up like a Christmas gift. But I call bullshit. Reason being, again, that's what therapist is for. That's what your doctor is for. Bitch, if you can't handle it, that's what medication is for. It's not, I've never heard somebody prescribe a bitch, go out there and write a book and tell all your business and somebody else's, even if it means basically damn near destroying their legacy or their name. You want to talk about going too far? This shit is going too far. She is going too far. And honestly, I hope the people get out there and get to picketing and walking around with signs asking, what they call that shit, protesting. There you go, picketing. You old bitch. Protesting, taking a stance and asking that this book be removed from the shelves. I mean, hell, y'all won't even allow the people to learn about Sojourner Truth and what really happened over there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Y'all got a problem with that shit. Y'all don't want nobody to learn about Black history and finance and all that good Judy booty shit. And, y'all don't want the people to know about the history of the gay folk. What Harriet Tubman had to go through just to ride the bus that she paid the same, if not more, fare on it than other people of pigmentation than her. Y'all don't want the folk reading that. But because this shit right here, it wins the pocketbook, as I call it. It wins the purse. It pulls the purse strings so wide open, because that bitch got to be wide open to accept the flow of cash that is being ready to be dumped from the revenues of the product of her putting out this book. Because people gonna read it no matter whether they, in sorrow or still mourning him or nothing. You bitches is nosy. You gonna read that book. You gonna try to find 2 chapters. Some of y'all probably already got it over there on audio book, trying to see what she's talking about. Stop buying that damn book. Get a refund. Send it back. We don't support this kind of behavior. We don't want to see it. Because that is not the behavior of a grieving widow. You know what I'm saying? You just, bitch, just ready to take the money and run. After that man and help build all that. Because he gave it a house, bitch, sell it. And you shouldn't hate him over it, because at the end of the day, apparently, shit, being with her ass, drugs couldn't get him a peace of mind from being around her and her bullshit and all the stuff he was going on in everyday life. If he was on all them kind of drugs and that wasn't getting him straight or zoning his ass out good enough to where he wasn't, so fixated on everything that was going on in his life, his demons that were hunting him from his past to the present day, probably up until the very moment that he checked up out of here, whether it be by his hand or someone else's. So all them drugs couldn't get it. All that liquor couldn't get it. He couldn't even happy feet his way into happiness with your ass around. And I see why. If he did do it, I see why. If it was anything predicated upon dealing with you and the mentality that you've shown to the public, on top of other shit that he was dealing with in his life, people dealing with shit every day, all day long, that they ain't got over or dealt with from their childhood or from just last year, from any type of trauma that has taken place. And you never thought that it was a good idea. And you never, if you were so close to your man and you were such the doting wife that you claim to be, why is it not that you found at some point that there was a problem or there was a change in your man and that he needed help? I mean, I'm not blaming you, but bitch, you mean to tell me you noticed all this? You ain't noticed none of this shit till he lay around there and punched that clock and got on the midnight train to Georgia. None of that. You didn't have a sync or a feeling or a connection with your man to know that his morale or something, his emotions were eating away at him and getting the best of him. Because in some places, even you as the spouse had the right to commit his ass somewhere to get him cleaned up and right. I'd rather you been writing a book by now with him still being here, just getting out of rehab, so fresh, so clean, over most of his problems. He may not be over all that shit, but 9 times out of 10, he's going to be a little bit better of a person. He might be taking a pill too every now and again, a Valium or something, just to make sure he don't get too overwhelmed, that the depression don't get the best of him, that he is not, going back to doing drugs and whatever other shit that you talked about he was doing. And actually, you writing this book, you and him both getting together, it being his idea and his decision to decide to tell us about his journey and how he got over. Bitch, you waited till the man got under, and then you come out and want to tell everybody everything. That's some shit you tell your counselor. That's all the stuff that you put in this book is the shit you should have told to a therapist in confidence, in privacy, in the private of the people, and kept it out of the public. We shouldn't be knowing anything about what that man was doing in his spare time unless you sitting there telling, doing a podcast or an interview saying, listen, I miss him because at nighttime, in the midnight hour, I be in there sleeping, and I'm in the midnight hour having a good old dream, and I'm thinking, bitch, I'm swinging from the chandeliers, the ceiling and shit. And all of a sudden, when I wake up, the shit was true. He was just that good at it. Oh, in the kitchen. Oh, he was a whiz in the kitchen. I really couldn't remember the last time I really cooked. And he was so good at the shit. Something like that. But you came out giving us the worst size of the man. How dare you? How dare you, like Wendy Williams would say. So we say to you, Allison Holker, take this book and shove it all the way up. That's just, if you agree with me, I want to see a thumbs up. Let me know you agree with me. Drop down in the comments section and let me know how you feel about the situation. But as far as I'm concerned, the way she brought it, y'all remember that episode of, I know it's probably may not be all that great to bring this, but the Cosby's, the episode where Sandra brought home Dabney's, and when she brought him home from school, she was engaged to him and shit, and then they sat down to the table. It shocked the family. And they sat down to the table to eat and everything, and Dabney and Vanessa was sitting there, and Cliff finally went on ahead and had a conversation with him. He said, you ever, tell me about your favorite food? He was like, good old juicy steak with onions, mushrooms, all that stuff. It smells good. He said, smells good. He said, now imagine that the waiter, brings that out, because your mouth is juicy and watery. You want it, but then you get it and it's served to you on the trash can lid. Are you still interested? That's how I feel about this whole situation and this publishing of this book. I feel like she served us what could have been a superb dish, what could have been delicioso, soothing to the soul, soup for your soul. Oh yes, oh bashata, oh biblioshi. It could have been so much more enticing. It could have been so much more informative in a positive light. It could have been, even if you didn't mean it, bitch, you could have told us how this man, we seen the videos y'all dancing and carrying on together with the children and everything, and the two of you, we were under the impression you guys had a marvelous life. Why could you not just keep the dream alive? Why could you not just keep hope alive and just let us think? And even, shit, do like they say the people do over there with the government. Fool us. Come out with this book, make it delicious, make it desirable, and make it good, and make it so to where it's pleasing to people, and we see him in the light. Like I said, show us the brighter side of him and yourself. Show us the light. But for you to come out with the dog shit, now this book would have been about her and totally her in her dark days, where she never got the chance to tell him, she done snorted cocaine or did a bump or probably done injected some shit. I don't know. Or she was secretly being an alcoholic when he wasn't at home. He was at work down there DJing for Ellen DeGeneres on the show, when she was, get up in the morning, send the kids to school, and go in there and get pissy drunk and have enough time to sleep it off to go get the kids and come home and cook supper and all that. Stuff like that. Tell us about the demons that you was fighting as a child. Tell us about how you never felt like you were a real, full-grown, voluptuous, woman. You never felt that until you met this man. Tell us how you have, bitch, I don't know, alopecia at some point, and some of your hair is really hair plugs and pieces. Tell us about your struggle with having a wanky eye, and not feeling like not feeling like you were the best of yourself, and you couldn't present to the people and be out there in public. And so that's why a lot of times you was doing Botox shots and all that different stuff there. Tell the people about your business, bitch. You don't come out and tell nobody's business, especially not to the level of the magnitude of this. So again, we the people. I will speak for the people. Take this book and shove it so far up your keister that for the rest of this year, you shit it out page by page. And I will say chapter by chapter, but that might be too quick because what you deserve. Go ahead and shit that out, page by page. And I'm talking about the ones that flip them over like that, page by page, front and back. Or as mom would say, she's sitting over there wishing in one hand and shitting in the other, but she don't understand which one gonna get full the fastest. You wishing for so much success off this book, but you putting out so much shit, producing so much shit. This is bullshit you produce. And I call for it to be pulled from the shelves. Yeah, agree with me. Hold hands. Put your hands up and say it. We need to get this shit taken down. We need to get this book removed from the shelves. Ain't no way in the world we're gonna let this good make all this money off defaming this man's legacy in the name of everything that is powerful and all. Take that shit down. Anyway, I'm done with it. I'm gonna see if I can follow up and see what happens. But the family is heated, and they're in a big fight and a feud. She's in a big feud with his friends and his family. And honestly, I can understand as to why. I think they're in process of working on taking legal actions to get some things removed from the book or to get the book removed altogether, because basically they're saying that it's defaming his character. And I agree. I think that whatever legal action that they're looking to take, I think they should take that and take it to the max, and anything else they can find or come up with or brew up in their motherfucking magic of things, or they pull out their bunny bag to motherfucking use against her ass. I think they should do that too. And sue her for all the proceeds, because she's saying the proceeds is going to some kind of foundation and so they're always saying that kind of shit. Them proceeds ain't going to no foundation. You lied. Them proceeds are going to the foundation. Tell us your business, bitch. Don't tell us his. Don't do that to him. Anyway, that's all. I'm gonna have to see y'all later because I gotta go check on my wings. I know they about ready to go on broad right now. I'm making some teriyaki wings. They're basically like drumettes. I like the flats the most, but I did flats and I mixed in a few drumettes as well. And I season the bitches real good and let them marinate for like an hour, and put them in that pan, and they bake for like an hour, 20 minutes, and I just take that foil off of there and just roast them. Whether it's a Caribbean jerk or the teriyaki or the honey bourbon, whichever flavor I decide to make. When I tell you, when they come out the oven, they be nice and crispy on the skin on the top, and that meat just fall off the bones. You just bite it and it just start falling apart. That's how I like my shit. I don't like to be a fork tender. No, bitch, I need mine spoon tender. I ain't got time for all that extra work. So I got to go take them out the oven and get my macaroni and things started. But anyway, in the meantime, hit the subscribe button if you have not already, so that when I upload or go live, you can be one of the first ones to jump over in the comment section and let me know what you thought about the video. I want your thoughts, your opinion, all that. Hit the thumbs up button and make sure to share this video. I started not to do a video today because I hadn't had my hair twisted. And yes, I know, or I hadn't had it redone. I hadn't went down to the beauty parlor yet, right? And so y'all saying, "My bitch, you went to a funeral." Listen, it was still great for a funeral. I was just tired. I was wore off from all that driving, packing, and planning, and all kind of other stuff that I was trying to get taken care of, so that I can actually make it. And shit, listen, I had got dressed up and I had me a good old what it is, fedora, and had on my head and wore that. And they were talking about you wearing hats now, yada yada yada. I was like, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all the same thing before y'all get to judging. Don't tell me nothing about my hats when I decide to wear them. Now I know the only what it's called, not fictional. The only myth that you shouldn't wear a hat indoors. That's a southern thing, I guess, but some people don't know about it. But I was like, hell with that shit. I'm wearing my hat anyway. And if y'all thinking about telling me anything, I'm gonna tell y'all about wearing y'all hats too. Only thing about it, your hat purple, and it probably got a silk press to it, or it's probably a 38 piece, French wig or some shit like that. A good old glue lace, a slapping pap. Y'all wear y'all shit. Y'all got them wigs and weaves. Y'all wear hats all the time, so don't bother me about my hat. Mind your business, please. Thank you. Anyway, love you guys so much for everything you guys do for me. I really think I ask you guys for a lot, but you guys always come through shining bright like a diamond and give me more than I need. And for that, I say thank you, and I love you guys so much for it. Also, never forget to remember to love on yourself first and foremost always, and let whatever flows over out go to the others. You know what I'm saying? And you got to reciprocate. You got to be reciprocated properly, because if not, what's the point? But love yourself, honey. All right, to the next video. I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.